Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're finally going to be lowering the E46. I was actually supposed to do this a week ago, and the thing is, it was my birthday. Plans kind of changed, so I didn't really get to work on the car. So this is how the car sits at factory height, and it's really not that high compared to a lot of the newer BMWs. And this is a sport package, so it does tend to sit a little bit lower than the regular E46, but it's got maybe 2-finger wheel gap in the front, and then in the back it's got about one, maybe 1.5. So I'm gonna just drop it. I'm gonna install the coilovers how they come from BC, so that's what we're actually gonna be installing. All right, so here we got the BC Racing BR series, and drop it. So I've had BC coilovers before, and I know a lot of people, this is not an M3, so just being honest, I'm not gonna go out crazy and spend, you know, $3 on a set of coilovers when the car cost me almost at that price. So this is not gonna be a full-on track car, and the BC coilovers are gonna be more than enough to do street driving, and then if I need to, or if I wanna take it on the track, it should be good enough. So we're gonna go with those. I haven't had any issues before in the past. So the thing with BC, some people don't like them because they tend to feel a little bit on the stiffer end. And that's one thing that I tell people: if you're gonna lower a car, expect it to be stiffer. Obviously you want it to be stiffer when it comes to turns. And then the thing is, I guess it's a little bit too stiff for certain people. So they don't like it. They prefer to go with like something higher end that's like Öhlins or KW, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that those aren't good setups, because they probably are based on their price. I've never actually ridden in them or had a car with them, but for this type of project, BC was just more than enough for this car. So anything is going to be better than what this car has, unless you go like super cheap eBay coilovers. I would not recommend it. I've had BCs before. They were fine to me. I knew that the ride was going to be a little harsh sometimes, but like I said, the suspension is old. It's a little too soft for my liking, so I'm pretty sure this is going to feel a lot better. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these out and then show you guys how they look. So here we have the entire setup. So you got the front coilovers, the rear shocks, the rear springs, the end links. The thing about these is that, so when you switch them out, I was gonna order some new nuts, but apparently I forgot that they come with some new ones, so you don't have to worry about buying some from BMW. But everything comes here, everything that you need. You got the tools here. You got an Allen key to, what's the Allen key for? To adjust, to adjust the camber. But that's pretty much it. So anything, hey, can you push on the hood? Just bounce on it. So you can tell how soft this thing is. I don't think it's supposed to move like that, but it's not terrible, but it's a little soft. So we got my lovely assistant. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack the car up, and then we're probably gonna start with the front and then come back and work on the rear. So here we got the factory shock and the coilover. So before you put these in, I highly recommend that you guys get yourself one of these. I'll have them linked in the description down below. These are the reinforcement plates. So the E36 and the E46 are known for having cracking issues where the towers mount up. So especially when you're doing a stiffer suspension, you're more than likely to cause the cracks in the long run. So these are there to give it extra support so it doesn't crack. So I have the ones for the front, and also have the ones for the rear, which are right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in. This is gonna go on the underside of the car. So you're gonna put it up here, line it up, and then just go ahead and put the coilover through there, and then just put everything back together. It's just the 3 bolts up top, the main bolt that holds it to the what's this thing called? What's this thing called? I guess, is that what it is?
Yeah.
something, yeah. So the main bolt goes through here, and then you just put in the bracket and then connect your lines back up, or just hook them up back to the bracket, and then you should be good to go, aside from the end link. Alright, so we got the fronts installed. If you notice, the E46, they have like a little adjustment point, so what we did was we just pushed it forward in to camber it more. I know we got the camber plates, but I'm not gonna mess with that right now unless I really have to. Also, one thing I want to point out, which I'm probably gonna be replacing these, the brake lines feel pretty hard, and I don't think they're supposed to be like that. They're actually supposed to be a bit more flexible. So if you're working on an older car, make sure that you're cautious with the brake lines and try not to let the whole rotor assembly hang. Otherwise, you risk cracking the brake line, and you do not want to be stuck without brakes. Make sure you tighten the rings too, because sometimes they come kind of loose. I've had these things come loose on me, and then eventually, if you're not cautious, the actual shock, the height tends to change. So be careful, make sure you tighten these up. All right guys, so a little update. We got the rears installed. Miguel actually ended up leaving already. We kind of didn't record because we wanted to make sure that we got done in time before we had to leave. He had things to do. So here's how the front looks. So the front dropped a little bit. So we had 2-finger gap, now we got 1 finger. But the rear, I left everything the way that it came from BC. So the rear ended up being the same. So we're still at like 1-finger gap. Actually, if anything, I kind of think it might have gotten higher. But it's also because the front is lower. So more than likely, the height ended up staying the same. So we can always adjust it. We can always lower the back end. I'm not gonna mess with it right now because I am gonna be fitting on the flares, and then I gotta mess with the wheel fitment. So I'm gonna leave it the way it is. All this is gonna happen in the next few days, hopefully. So I'll either have to raise the front or lower the back. So I'm not gonna worry about that now. I do have to do my rear brakes as well. So once I do that, I'm gonna readjust it just in case. I'll probably drop it a little bit and then just kind of see how things go. But look, I can already tell you guys that this is gonna feel way different, completely better. Look how bad these shocks were. You're not supposed to be able to do with this to shocks. You see how easy they compress? And it's supposed to come back up, and it's not. So these things were blown. The car has 170,000 miles. It's a 2004, so these were very much needed. And now it's kind of stuck, so it might come out if you pull it out. But yeah, these are terrible. So I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to tell, but just by looking at this thing is stiff. It's like literally not moving anywhere. So I just realized that I didn't show you guys how the car looked like from a distance. So it's not very low, but the back is a little bit lower than what it was when I first started the video. So we adjusted the rear just a tad bit, and I'm not gonna adjust the front yet until I get the fenders and everything put on with the wheels. The rear, I think I'm pretty happy with. It's actually, it might be a little bit higher than this. It's just sitting lower because it is kind of on a slight slope. So just wanted to show you guys before I pretty much end the video. And as you guys can see here, the M3 side skirts are on the car now as well, so it does make it appear a bit lower than what it did before. So it's been a few days since we installed the coilovers, and I was gonna end the video a lot sooner, but I was like, you know what, it might be better if I just drive the car around for a little while, get used to the suspension, see how it feels, how it does on my daily commutes and stuff. And I am gonna say it is a little bit stiffer at times, but that's usually if the road is uneven on the highway. There's a certain section that I normally take that it's a little bit wavy, and I mean, I guess that's expected unless you have a really comfortable car which is not lowered. Otherwise, any car that's lowered, you're gonna feel it. I remember driving through that road with my M3, and I used to feel the waviness, unevenness on the road. So it's not terrible. When the road is flat, you're fine. I mean, obviously some bumps here and there, whatever, not a big deal, but it feels way better than what it did before, especially when I'm taking exits at a certain speed. Normally it would feel kind of like I could feel the car just tilting whenever I was taking an exit or an on-ramp at, you know, at a certain speed, whatever. Even just regular speed, I could feel it being a little uneven, floaty. But
but now it feels a lot better. I feel more comfortable taking certain turns at a certain speed. Overall, highly recommended if you're still on factory suspension on your E46. So don't cheap out. Don't get those eBay $200 coilovers, because they're gonna be trash, I guarantee you. So don't waste your money on that. There is some other coilovers that you guys can probably get around the $600-700 range that are gonna be okay. The thing about these is that I like the fact that they come with camber plates already. So a lot of the coilovers that are like $600-700, they don't have camber plates, and I knew that I was gonna need them because of the wheel specs that I was gonna be running. So I went ahead and got the BCs. So then that way I can camber the car to however I want to. That's the thing that I like about these coilovers, is that you don't have to worry about buying camber plates. So highly recommend it if you're on a budget, don't want to spend too much, but you want the features from a higher end coilover. Even some higher end coilovers don't come with camber plates. So it all depends on, it's all on preference, guys. So in my point of view, BCs, I would recommend them still. Obviously they're not the most comfortable ride, but if you're not building a full-on track car, like a road course type of car, they'll get the job done. A lot of people use them to drift, so they're not bad suspension. I just know that a lot of mainly BMW owners complain about the comfort of the car, and obviously you're kind of mixing, either you want a really comfortable ride or you want a sportier feel. If you want that, you're gonna have to go for like maybe like some coilovers that are about $3 grand and up. So you know, you make your choice based off of that. And yeah, so we're making progress, slow progress, but it's getting there. By the time you guys see this video, I've probably mentioned in another video that I'm still waiting on parts. So I'm actually giving you guys a little update. I think all my front end parts are gonna get here today. I'm actually uploading this video today, so I'm recording this on the same day because I already edited it, and then I was like, wait, I don't have an ending. So I had to come out here. As you guys can see, it was a last minute shoot. It's raining, so I couldn't really record too much. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.